Welcome to Summer 2020 with Madeline Island Chamber Music. I'm Susan Chandler, the Executive Director of Madeline Island Chamber Music. Although our season is canceled due to COVID-19, we're pleased to share some of our music from our concert archives.
The moment we get on that ferry and the wind starts blowing through our hair and we see the lake and the island, and it's almost always sunny when we come up here. I don't know how we get so lucky, but it is. And it feels like this profound release from everything that it occupies us on a daily basis. And it's a perfect environment for music making.
And there's a real serenity to the island, and just being in the midst of all those aspen and birch trees and the green and the blue sky and the water and everything that I think invites delving more deeply.
An island is always a good place because in a way it helps you to concentrate for the things you are doing. You are there and then you are concentrating for, in this case, for music.
It'd be like giving a painter 4 colors and only 4 colors to paint the canvas with.
It's like poetry in that the art of the string quartet is a real distillation of the composer's art.
With the string quartet repertoire, you're playing music by the most brilliant, some of the most brilliant minds in the history of sort of Western art, and they're at their best.
There's something about the sounds that combine that make it possible to really express, the fullness of your soul.
So it's sort of like, you know your puzzle piece, you know what it is, you know how it fits, you toss it into the air just as somebody else is tossing their puzzle piece into the air, and then you watch it just assemble itself.
It's, in a sense, a very miniature version of an orchestra. All the string instruments they're said to have voices that are similar to the human voice. So in particular the cello is said to be the most similar to the human voice, but I think having the range of the high instruments to the lower instruments, the violins all the way down to the cello, really draws to mind like a chorale or a chorus.
It sort of started with Haydn, who wrote a lot of string quartets and really developed the form, and then Beethoven from there, I think. And what Beethoven did with the quartet was intimidating. His innermost feeling went into his string quartets. There's something incredibly personal about the writing. And I think once he did that, he kind of set the bar so high that composers really felt that the quartet was going to be the place where they would have to do their finest work.
Brahms, for example, felt so intimidated living the shadow of Beethoven that he threw away 20 drafts of string quartets.
You're really working for the composer in order to try to play emotionally and excitedly, but also have a focus and a drive that is derived from the interaction of the personal energy of the people in your group.
They have had good teachers there, good people who have been able to teach something about musical language to the students.
If you play and your only goal is to not use the same amount of bow on the next note, you're golden.
It's our job as musicians to effectively portray these contrasts. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's actually incredibly difficult not to play beautifully all the time. Because we see music and it's lyrical and we love vibrating, you know, as string players, we love singing, it's in this beautiful way. But actually sometimes that's really not what the music needs in order for the performance to be effective.
You need something which is giving a chance for young people to come together and enjoy playing music together. And I think that the Madeline Island Music Camp has all those elements, and that's why it has been so important.
I was really looking for a summer where I could just completely be immersed in chamber music.
One of the most appealing things about Madeline Island is how closely we work with professional quartets, people who are out in the world performing constantly and have learned how to have a career in chamber music.
The biggest reason why I wanted to come here was the exposure to people of different cultures. That kind of cultural interaction I feel like is extremely positive in my growth as a musician, and it's been something that I wouldn't trade for anything.
One more time. You take these individuals that have never met each other before, coming from various parts of the world with different backgrounds, different ages, different interests, and you put them in a room together for the first time, and magic happens.
One of the inherent dangers of the string quartet tradition, which has a few hundred years behind it, is things that are that old can tend to get a little musty after a while. I think young people are really inherently interested in what makes something new and fresh and interesting to listen to.
Both summers I was there, although the faculty wasn't always the same, the level of quartets that are coaching the students is always just so high. I mean, these are some of the best quartets in the world, and it's such a privilege to be able to work with them.
When you're playing the great works of Beethoven, Mozart, Haydn, Shostakovich, all the great composers of the past, it gets upped, that energy, because you are taking part in history. Many other wonderful musicians have played these phenomenal works and have bared their souls in performance and in study. And when you become a part of this, it's a very special moment.
And the experience of playing in chamber music gives us a vehicle for working on our personal skills that will make us better people, make us understanding of each other, make us good collaborators, make us understand how we can offer what it is that we have to offer while at the same time receiving what other people have to offer. And that's chamber music in a nutshell.
This clip is the last movement of Benjamin Britten's String Quartet No. 1, as performed by one of our fellowship quartets at Bell Street Gallery. Thanks for listening and enjoy.